Welcome to Milan Recording Studios. My name is James Pavel Chakras, and in today's video I wanted to do a recap and a follow-up of a video I posted a few days ago about the Casio PX-S3000. In that video, I talked about the numerous flaws that this particular instrument unfortunately has, and its biggest one is the fact that the black keys are much lighter than the white keys. This is something you'd never find in a true acoustic piano or even any digital piano that I have found before, certainly not to this extent, and as a result it makes playing this particular instrument very, very difficult and far unlike a real acoustic piano. So I mentioned this in my video and many people seemed to dislike the fact that I found this. Some people asked, how come you're the only reviewer on YouTube who's found this problem? And other people came out and said that I was wrong and that the PX-S3000 does not have this issue. Now it's probably true that other models of Casio's keyboards, of other lines from the Privia series and whatnot, other models may not have this issue. But the PX-S3000 and the PX-S1000, which uses the same exact design action, will have this issue. So it's kind of difficult for me to prove why this is true. It's hard for me to say exactly why an action feels the way it does, and a lot of times in my videos I resort to using silly analogies like it feels buttery smooth or it's silky like soup or something. So that's only the best way I can find to describe of how an action feels, so it's difficult to prove why this is true. It's hard for me to exactly prove without simply saying it's true that the black keys are lighter than the white keys. So what did I do? Well, I found out this little tool. This little tool, for some of you guys, may look completely unfamiliar, although I do know that some of my followers are in fact piano technicians, so I'm sure those of you know exactly what this is. This is a tool known as gram weights, and these are used by piano technicians to tell the weight of a piano's action. For each individual key, there are two different, as well as many different forces at play, but the two main ones regarding the weight is the down weight and the up weight. The down weight is the amount of force that it takes for the key to go from its resting position down to the let-off position, and the up weight is kind of the reverse of that. It's the amount of weight that the key can lift from going from its resting position above the let-off to its normal resting position. In this video, I'm only going to be talking about the down weight because that's the really important aspect of the PX-S3000 where it fails, although you can see that when I put these weights on the keys, they do kind of bounce a little bit, which is something some people on the internet mentioned. So these are a series of different weights that you can arrange in different orders and different weights to really precisely find the weight of a particular key, and you could buy other sets to these as well and combine them to have a wider spread than this 63 gram weight can provide. I have found off camera that it takes about 50 grams to make the black keys move when you set this weight on. What you want to see in optimal conditions, which a digital piano won't be able to provide, is that when you set this weight on the key, it should slowly move down to the let-off position. On a real acoustic piano, when you gently push the key down, you'll feel a little bump before it hits the very bottom of the key bed. That's called the let-off or escapement. And on a real piano, when you put this weight on it, you'll want the key to go down and set right where that bump would be. This doesn't even have let-off, so it really doesn't do that, but I tried to get it to weight in such a way so that when I put the weight on the key, it will go down to approximately where the let-off would be on a real piano. So as you can see, when I set 50 grams on each black key, what happens here is that the key will move a little bit down towards the bottom of the key, roughly to where the let-off would be. So it takes 50 grams to move the black keys, but as you can see there, when it fell onto the white key, when I set this on the tip of the white key, nothing happens, because the white key needs more force and more weight than 50 grams to actually even make the key move at all. Once again, 50 grams here on the black keys makes them move about like what they're supposed to. Again, it's a digital piano, doesn't quite work the same way as a real grand piano would, and the white keys will not move. Now, if you tried this out on a optimally regulated grand piano, you'd find that whatever weight was necessary on the grand piano, might not be 50 grams, maybe more, maybe less, probably more, it would be the same between the black keys and the white keys. However, that's not the case with the PX-S3000. To get the white keys to move the way they're supposed to, I put all 63 grams on here, and probably could use a couple more, but I don't have any additional weights. And if I set that on there, you'll see that the weight can, in fact, make the white key move. So there lies the problem, and this proves the point that the black keys are lighter than the white keys. It takes more weight to make the white keys move than it does with the black keys. Obviously, if I put the 63 grams on the black keys, they move, and in fact, they make sound, because it's enough force to actually make them play. but it only takes 50 grams to move the black keys as it's supposed to, but not enough to move the white keys. I dropped it on that one, so that's why it moved. But if I set it down the way you're supposed to, it doesn't really move. So there is the point. That was what I was talking about in the video, and I didn't need weights to be able to tell that before, because I've played the piano since I was 5 years old, and I'm 19 now, so that's about 14 years that I've been playing the piano, and for a large portion of that time, I've played classical music, and classical music requires a lot of a piano, especially advanced music, but even the simple classical pieces require you to play with a very precise dynamic control. They may not be technically difficult, but the dynamic control required, even in something relatively simple, like certain passages of Clair de Lune, is very difficult to play on the Casio PX-S3000. This, I think, might be why some reviewers on the internet didn't catch this particular issue with the PX-S3000. I'm not here to throw shade on anyone on the internet. I really enjoy a lot of the piano and keyboard reviewers on the internet, but this may be one reason why, because they haven't played classical music as much as I have, and so they don't require quite as much out of a digital piano as I might, depending on what piece I play. I found that different pieces will have this issue and will not have this issue. If you're playing something that's mostly on the white keys, you won't experience the issue, but Clair de Lune in particular really seems to have phrasing issues, as many of you guys noticed in my video. The other thing I wanted to mention is that those comments about the action and my statements being untrue, the comments that people made that I mentioned earlier in the video, those actually are gone on that video, and if you look through them, you won't see them. The reason for this is because, like I said, I don't want people to be spreading misinformation on my YouTube channel. That's not what I want my comment section to be all about. What I want my comment section to ultimately be, and that's hopefully kind of where I have it at the moment throughout my whole videos, is that I want it to be like a friendly environment where people can come and happily discuss musical instruments, whether it's keyboards, digital pianos, acoustic pianos, whatever it may be. People can come and discuss and ask questions and have friendly conversations and not be spreading misinformation. If someone says something wrong, I can sometimes either reply to a comment, or sometimes, like in this case, I'll just remove it, because that's not what I want my channel to be. I don't want it to be people arguing and bickering. If that's what you enjoy using the internet for, to getting into arguments with people, there's other places on the internet that are wonderful for that, such as Reddit and other places. If you want to talk about pianos, there's a number of different piano forums that you can join and argue with people about on there. There's one in particular where basically no matter what the parent topic is of the thread, it will always devolve into people arguing and insulting each other by around the second page. It's actually almost kind of sad. But I don't want that to be what my comment section is known for. So far, I think I've been able to create a friendly, happy environment on my channel, so I'd really like that to continue. So when people come along and spread misinformation and try to discredit what I say, that is not what I want to happen. If it turned out I was wrong, then I'd probably have left those up, but I am not wrong. As you can see, it takes 63 grams to move the white keys. Actually, I've got the little nut on there, so it's a little bit more than that now. So it takes 63 grams to move the white keys and make them perform as usual. It only takes 50 grams to move the black keys, and that same 50 grams does not make the white keys move. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you might want to go check out my channel. I've got lots of cool videos of pianos, organs, keyboards, digital pianos, and all kinds of other cool stuff on my YouTube channel. If any of that sounds cool, you might want to think about subscribing. And if you do that, well, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.